gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah.
All right, let's kick things off with a quick unboxing of the newly launched Huawei Pura X View. This time, I have the gray version. Big thanks to my tech partner over in China for providing this footage. I really appreciate the support in making this video happen. Hey everyone, Stella here from techiestreet. If you're into staying updated with the newest gadgets, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our latest tech content. Inside the box, you get the phone, charger, and data cable. And yes, the cable is USB-C to USB-C. But there's something much more interesting about this phone. The Pura X View is Huawei's first smartphone with HarmonyOS 7, and this is also my first hands-on experience with it. I won't go too deep into the software today. I'll cover HarmonyOS 7 in much more detail in my upcoming full video on this phone. Now, with the phone powered on, let's take a closer look at the design. When Huawei first introduced the Pura X View, many people compared it with the recently launched Huawei Pura X Max, and honestly, that comparison makes sense. From the rear, both phones share a very similar design language. But unfold the Pura X View, and things get much more interesting. It starts looking almost like a compact Huawei tablet. And when you compare the dimensions side by side, you'll notice something surprising. It's actually larger than what you might expect from a mini tablet. The unfolded display feels closer to the inner screen of Huawei's original Pura X foldable. But there's an interesting detail. When the inner display is fully opened, you can see a protective rim around the screen, which slightly affects how the screen-to-body ratio looks. Even from this cardboard cutout, you can get a good idea of the proportions. The screen-to-body ratio looks impressive, and the overall viewing experience seems very promising. Now let's move to the metal frame. Here, you'll find a feature similar to the call hole design used on the Huawei Mate 80 Pro Max, serving a similar purpose. We've already seen the rear camera design. Huawei has continued the same design philosophy, with 4 lenses arranged on the back. Of course, I'll save the detailed camera specs and real-world camera performance for my next video. So that's a quick look at the overall design. But there's another detail you'll definitely want to see: the thickness. Without comparing it with another phone, it's hard to understand just how thin this device really is. So let's put it next to the Mate 80 Pro Max. And as you can see, the Pura X View is actually slightly slimmer. Huawei has done a good job keeping the thickness under control. Now let's compare it to the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Again, the thickness is surprisingly well controlled. But once you actually hold the phone, the difference becomes much easier to appreciate. Apart from its unusual screen proportions, the slim body is something you immediately notice. There's no dramatic visual gap between the display and the body, giving the phone a balanced and natural feel in the hand. At first glance, you might think this phone feels heavy, but pick it up, and the experience is completely different. You'll probably be surprised by how light it feels. Its wider design makes it look heavier, and of course, it packs a massive 7.5-ton battery, right? Now, let's make a slightly unusual comparison. Put it next to an iPhone. The screen ratios are completely different, but you can think of the Pura X View as moving more of the upper display area toward the sides. So what do you actually gain from this design? In my opinion, there are 2 major advantages. First, the phone looks incredibly compact. Its unusual aspect ratio makes it appear smaller than a normal smartphone, even though the actual display area is quite similar. It's really the screen shape that creates this compact look. The second advantage is the wider horizontal viewing area. This becomes especially useful when reading news or other text. you can fit much more content across the screen. Something that takes 2 lines on a regular phone can sometimes fit into just one here. Since we naturally read from left to right, that extra width gives you a noticeably wider field of view. And things get even more interesting when watching videos, especially cartoons or wider format content. On a traditional smartphone, you may see black bars on the sides, but with this screen ratio, more of the video can fill the display, creating a more immersive and comfortable experience. It almost feels like the entire screen becomes your viewing window. That's also why the screen-to-body ratio feels so impressive. When you hold the phone and the display fills your vision, it almost feels like you're holding the entire image in your hand. With a normal aspect ratio, some videos can still leave black areas at the top or bottom. That's simply because different video formats use different aspect ratios, so no single screen shape works perfectly for everything. But this design becomes even more interesting when you're traveling, especially on an airplane. During takeoff and landing, you generally can't use a tablet or small tablet, but a smartphone can still be used normally. That means you can continue watching videos and accessing your content. In situations like this, the Pura X View's unique shape could actually make it more convenient than a conventional smartphone. And that's what makes this design so different. As for the rest of the experience, including HarmonyOS 7, this video is only a quick introduction. I'll go much deeper in my next video. I'll test HarmonyOS 7 on this unusual aspect ratio display and explain how the software adapts to this screen shape. I'll also test popular games and apps and share how they actually perform on this phone. And of course, I'll cover the camera, battery life, and complete battery tests in detail. So that's my unboxing and first look at the newly launched Huawei Pura X View. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and follow the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!